Well, hey there, guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we're going to make some easy Father's Day gifts with the xTool S1 20-watt fully enclosed laser engraver. Well, guys, it's been a while since we've done any kind of videos on the xTool S1, and coming up is Father's Day. So what a great time and a great way to showcase the laser's capabilities and get some Father's Day presents made. So without further ado, let's see what I've got in store for this week's show. Some of the following clips contain footage of the xTool S1 laser engraver in action. This includes images of flashing lights which may have negative effects on some people. If you are someone who is affected by flashing lights, please do what you have to do to protect yourself. Well, I've gone to my local dollar store and I've picked up a few items, one being this coffee mug. We have some oversized wooden dice. We've got a whiskey glass, a little art easel, and a canvas. Now, this canvas has already been spray painted with a couple coats, first starting with white spray paint and then a couple coats of black spray paint, and I've let that completely dry. We'll be dealing with that a little later. So what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to start off with is we want to engrave our whiskey glass. But guys, in order to use a diode laser on clear material like this, you need some kind of catalyst. And for me, I'm going to use cold galvanizing compound. It seems to work the best for me when it comes to laser engraving on glass. So we're going to give these a thorough coating and let them completely dry before we actually do the engraving. Well, I have one of the whiskey glasses set up with the RA2 Pro. That is ready to go. I've done rotation tests, I've checked things, I've framed it, and I have my design here ready to go. I just want to do a little bit of a test to see how it's going to engrave. That looks fine to me. And what we're going to do is I'm going to try this on the glass. Our cold galvanizing spray has dried. So let's give this a try and see how we make out. And now all we really have to do is we're going to wash off all of this cold galvanizing spray with some mineral spirits, and I'll show you the final results on that. And we've just put something dark in there so that we can see it. And yeah, that turned out great. Well, the next thing that we're going to make will be this engraving on our ceramic mug. But instead of using our rotary tool, I'm going to try to do it using the curve process of XCS. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plot out our curve measure. Well, the first thing we need to do is mark the vertex 1, which is the top left corner of our project. So we will position our laser there and click mark, and the laser will take some measurements and mark that position on our project. We then need to take our laser and place it in the lower right corner, which is vertex 2, and we can click mark on that, and as well it will do the same thing and plot that mark on our grid. By clicking next, we can now choose the number of plot points. In this case, I'm doing 5 by 5 or 25. So you can click start measuring, and the laser will continue across all 25 of those points, taking measurements of the height all the way along. Once it's finished, it will give you a 3D rendering of what your mug, in this case, looks like. And by clicking done, XCS will provide us with this white square, which is the area we just plotted out. All we need to do now is shrink our design and align it in that square, and we know that it's going to engrave within the area that we plotted out, and it will automatically adjust for the focus of the curve all the way through the engraving. And with that done, we'll just give that a little bit of a wash and engrave the same thing on the other side. So our next project is going to be Dad's chore dice. And you can see here I have all my little icons made up. This is a bit of a different pattern, guys. So what we're going to do here is at each one of these images, I have an output, and we're just going to turn them all off for now, with the exception of our red icon, which is this section right here. We're going to turn them all off. And what I want to do is I want to take all of these, just like this. I want to align them in the center and then align them horizontally centered. And we'll take the whole group of them and move them into the middle. And what we're going to do is we're just going to frame this up now on our scrap of 1/8 inch thick plywood that we have inside. And with that now in focus, we're actually going to run this. And what it's going to do is it's going to cut out that center square here that we have listed in the red cut layer. This is now a jig that will hold those dice that we bought. And we can line up our dice or our die right here like this. And over here in our cut layers, and we can shut off that red cut layer, just like that. And then we'll move down to our next layer and we will turn it on. And if we check here with our preview, and we can see exactly what it is that it's going to engrave. So what we're going to do now is we can engrave our first symbol. And once that's done, we can take our die out of the jig. Don't move it. Sit your die back in here. You should already be focused. And then in Lightburn here, under your cut layers, we will shut off the one we just did, which is our blue layer. We're going to turn on our next layer. We can preview it to make sure that we're doing it right, and it is. And once you're happy with that, we can start the next layer. It's already focused into the dice because they're square, so we can just click start and let it go. And you will continue this for all 6 sides of the one die with the symbols, and then all 6 sides of the second die, which has time periods of once, twice, for a week, 2 weeks, etc. And when you're all done, you end up with this sort of thing. And we have here the chore die on this side. So we have walking the dog, dad's choice, whatever dad wants. We have taking out the garbage. We have washing the car. We have mowing the lawn. And we have, it goes this way, weeding the garden. And then this is the frequency of it. So you'll do it once, twice, for 2 weeks, for 1 week, for a month, or if you really want to commit, for a year. So essentially, as a gift, dad gets this set of dice and he gets to roll it, and you can choose the number of times he gets to roll it. And instead of, say, coupons, where you'd say, here's your book of coupons, dad, that you can get me to mow the lawn, he gets to roll this and whatever comes up. So if it rolls and the dog comes up twice, then you walk the dog for dad twice and save him the trouble of doing it. So a fun little set of chore dice, and really easy to engrave with the xTool S1. Our next project is a fairly simple frame, and I have this set up so that we have different layers here. So the first thing that you want to do with pretty much any project is we want to frame this out to make sure that it's going to fit on our piece of plywood that we have in the S1. And just like with any other project, we're also going to make sure that we're in focus. So we'll just click focus here on Lightburn and get it to focus in on our project. So we have it focused in, we have everything ready to go. All we need to do is click start, and the S1 will do this in no time flat. And what you end up with are these four components. Now this small heart here, you can just discard that. You're not going to need it. But this one here, hang on to. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue these two pieces together. So let me just get this heart out of here. You'll line up the edges and the front of your frame will get glued to the back of your frame. And that will give you this ridge for your photo to sit on. Now your backboard, or this larger heart, this is the template for cutting your photo to shape. So that can be sat in there, and a couple photo turns can just hold that in place. And then the last two components are these little stands, and they are designed to slide right over top of your frame, but that will hold your frame upright and allow you to display a photo of, say, you and your father. Well, for this next project, we're going to engrave a canvas. And as I said before, I do have a canvas here that I got at the dollar store, and I have given this a couple coats of paint. The paint itself, the bottom layer is white, and then the top layer is black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this in the laser. We're going to frame out our image, and you can see our image here. This would be great for a Father's Day present. And what we're going to do is we're going to engrave this and see how it works out. All right, and when it's all said and done, you end up with something like this. And we can just brush away some of the soot. Now, guys, this one here, the power levels were a little too high. And you can see we've lost some of the image there. So that's okay. We're going to reburn this. I have one more canvas. Well, the second attempt on our canvas is done. And I didn't realize it when I put this in, but this is actually a 3-color process. This one is red, white, and black. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a brushing here just to see what it looks like with the soot, and to see if it needs another pass. I'm carefully making it so that it doesn't move. You know, that's kind of interesting. I kind of like this. I think I might keep this one. This looks good. It's a little different. I still have to brush some of the soot out of there. But as I said, to make this the Father's Day gift, all you need is your dollar store easel and your engraving. And there you go. What father wouldn't like that? And you can even put Happy Father's Day down along the bottom here if you wish, whatever you like. And there you have it. Father's Day gifts made with the xTool S1 20-watt fully enclosed laser. Guys, these projects are so easy, so quick to make, and they look amazing. Every single gift that I made here today turned out really well. Now, you might have to play with some of the settings depending on what it is that you're making. So I always suggest, if you're going to do, say, a glass, or you're going to do a mug or that sort of thing, have more than one in case it messes up. And if one of them mess up, use that to hone in your settings and get that final perfect mug. Now, whether you use Lightburn, which is my preferred software, or whether you use XCS, which is the xTool Creative Space, both are very capable programs. But of course, that XCS really gives you the extra features of the S1 to be able to utilize them with your projects. And one of the best things about this, guys, as a Father's Day gift, this is something that you can get the young ones involved in because the S1's fully enclosed. There's never a point in time where the child could be accidentally exposed to the harmful rays of the diode laser. That cover completely guards them from it, and if the cover should ever be lifted, the laser stops instantly. So safe for children, 100%. Just get in there and help them out. get what they want to say on stuff. Let them press the start button. Let them line up the materials. Let them do the framing, that sort of thing. It's a great way to get the young ones involved and get them started on something like laser engraving. Either way, for very little input as far as money goes, because everything was bought at the dollar store, we got some great gifts for Dad this year. And hopefully, you're going to try some of this yourself if you have a laser engraver at home. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a lot of fun. It's nice to get some holiday videos coming in, like Father's Day, Mother's Day, that sort of thing. And it seems that Father's Day is usually put on the back burner, it seems, but it's nice to be able to bring it here to the show and help you guys come up with some project ideas. I'm going to put all the links down below to the xTool S1 as well as the accessories, the xTool website. Feel free to follow through with that if you're interested in this machine. If you have any questions about it, drop them below or send me an email. I'd be more than happy to answer those questions. You can reach me at kennye@acutabovewoodworkings.com. And honestly, guys, it is a very capable laser. I love this unit. It's fantastic. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We have an amazing audience base, and I'm hoping that you're going to consider becoming a part of that. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the Father's Day presents this week. I hope you've enjoyed the projects. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the demonstration of how this machine can really utilize the laser to get some high quality gifts. And more importantly, guys, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.